Hi there, this is Hallie Crawford with HallieCrawford.com Career Coaching. So the topic for today is about learning effective communication skills for your search for your dream job or just your career transition, whether it's a search for another job, an interim job while you're looking for the dream job. So here's what I'm finding. I've been talking to a lot of my college students lately, as well as recent college grads, parents, and employers. And I'm finding that there's a trend among the recent college grad, college student age, and the trend is that they're relying heavily on only one or two types of communication techniques, and that is they're texting a lot, they're not as willing to use voicemail or phone, and they're relying too heavily on texting and emailing. So here's the deal with these things, guys, and I want to help you be proactive and effective with your communication. So in-person communication as well as phone communication is always going to be better than email or text. So I realize that texting can be very effective and efficient, and it's a good thing, especially with your friends or if you need to get a message across really quickly in a short period of time. That's okay. But never text an employer, a prospective employer, or anyone when it's related to work unless you know them very, very well. Texting is not going to be a good thing professionally, so take it off the table. I know it might be the most comfortable method of communication for you, but it's not a good thing for professional communication, especially networking or with an employer. Number two, email is great. Email is a great method of communication, especially if you need to send your resume or need to remind somebody of something, a quick note, whatever it is. But remember that email is also a more passive form of communication. So what I'm saying here is not completely avoid certain types of communication, but learn to use them in the right way at the right time. So texting, like we said, is more for friends, family members, people you know really well, because it's much more informal. Email communication is perfectly acceptable for professional reasons, but remember too that email is very passive. Emails can get lost, they can get caught in spam, they cannot be delivered, and it's also very passive. It doesn't force the person on the other end, on the receiving end, to respond to you. So ideally, when you're in your job search, networking, contacting employers, whatever it is, looking for your dream job and trying to figure out what it is, you want to rely on phone and in-person communication because those are the best. So if you've sent an email and you haven't heard back from someone, pick up the phone. If you feel like you need to get to know somebody to really make a good connection with them for a job prospect, suggest that you meet in person. Yes, employers these days will do interviews via Skype and phone. That's perfectly acceptable, nothing wrong with that. So get used to that method of communication as well. But be mindful of the type of communication that you are using, and is it appropriate for the communication or the message that you want to send to the person you're communicating with. And what I'm finding is that younger people these days, we're so used to social media, Twitter, Facebook, everything else, and this very passive and kind of standoffish communication, that it has its time and its place, and that's fine. It definitely has a reason to use it and that kind of thing. But be mindful of, is the communication tool and method of communication you're using, is it the right one for what you're trying to accomplish? So keep this in mind, guys. Be more effective and proactive in your job search by using the tools of communication effectively and at the right time. I hope this is helpful to you. Have a great day.